Welcome to the MOOC, Introduction to Nutrition, Food for Health. I would like to start out the MOOC by presenting a study that was published about 2 years ago and that received lots of media exposure. The study explored a relation between how often people eat chocolate, their energy intake, and their body mass index. And you probably already know that body mass index, or BMI, is a measure for the degree of overweight or obesity. The study was done in 1,000 adult men and women that were recruited to participate in a study examining the side effects of statin drugs. Now, to assess the frequency of chocolate consumption, subjects responded to the question, how many times a week do you consume chocolate? Their energy intake was estimated using a so-called food frequency questionnaire that looked at total food consumption. Now, what was interesting is that the researcher found that the more often people ate chocolate, the higher their energy intake, which of course makes perfect sense, but the lower their body mass index or body weight. So let me repeat this. The more often people ate chocolate, the lower their degree of overweight. So the authors concluded that although frequent chocolate consumption increases energy intake, it does not lead to weight gain. Really? Do you believe it? The authors of the study admit that their study has limitations, which may explain their highly curious results. Unfortunately, those nuances are completely lost in the press release of UC San Diego, where the study was done, which, among other things, says, and I quote, "In the case of chocolate, this is good news, both for those who have a regular chocolate habit and those who may wish to start one." Those who may wish to start one? Are you kidding me? Is UC San Diego insinuating that picking up a chocolate habit may actually be a good idea because it may make you thinner? If the press office of UC San Diego is already doing such a bad job, how can we expect other news channels to be more accurate? Indeed, BBC News wrote that chocolate may help keep people slim, whereas CBS News reported that eating lots of chocolate helps people stay thin. What is surprising is that Elle magazine, of all sources, was actually the most responsible by including the disclaimer. But before you reach for that Mars bar, remember, chocolate bars contain high levels of fat and sugar, so it's best to stick to a little dark chocolate now and again to reap these possible benefits. Now, what I want to convey with this little story is that there's plenty of bad signs out there, and it's very hard to figure out what is solid and what is shaky. You definitely shouldn't believe everything you read or hear. Now, in this course, I don't just want to teach you the basics. What are carbohydrates, fats, proteins? How are they processed in the body? How do we determine the energy content of foods? Now, don't get me wrong, they're definitely important. But what I especially want to do is give you the necessary knowledge and tools to be more critical towards the messages that we're constantly bombarded with. Most people get terribly confused and don't know what to believe anymore. What I would like to accomplish is that you realize that new research findings should not be treated as facts, that some studies are a lot more valuable than others, that any study has limitations, and that these limitations are such that sometimes you cannot really conclude anything at all. Now, to accomplish that, in the next video, I will go through the main study designs used in nutritional science and discuss their main advantages and disadvantages.